Hello, and welcome to 99 vocabulary words to prepare for your exam. It could be the IELTS exam, or the TOEFL IBT exam, or even the ITEP exam. Building vocabulary is a long process. It doesn't happen overnight, so I suggest you take 2 or 3 months before your exam and try to learn at least 20 new words every week. Come back to review this video every week and see how many of these new vocabulary words you can remember.
Accolade. Her approval was the highest accolade he could receive. Circumvent. If you come to an obstruction in the road, you can seek to circumvent it. Dearth. There is a dearth of reliable information about the secretive process. Jargon. The engineer's report was full of technical jargon. Labor. The cost of repairing the car includes parts and labor. Ludicrous. It's ludicrous that I have been punished. Malice. There was a look of malice in her eyes. Mettle. The horse will have a chance to prove its mettle in the next race. Microcosm. This town is a microcosm of American society. Morose. She was morose and silent when she got home. Mundane. I lead a mundane sort of life. Nettle. The mayor's actions have nettled some members of the community. Obdurate. I argued the point with him, but he was obdurate. Obtain. Where did you obtain this information? Obviate. A parachute can be used to obviate disaster. Jibe. He helped me gain confidence after years of cruel jibes. Oppress. The country has long been oppressed by a cruel dictator. Irresolute. She was personally and professionally inactive and irresolute. Irksome. It is an irksome chore which I would rather avoid. Interpret. We need someone to interpret these results for us. Inscrutable. He had an inscrutable smile like he knew a secret. Ingratiate. They tried to ingratiate themselves with the local people. Indefatigable. He has an indefatigable work ethic and never tires. Incidental. Try not to be distracted by incidental details. Implacable. He's implacable until he gets what he wants. Ignominious. The party risked ignominious defeat. Hypothesis. I'm afraid that I can't go along with your hypothesis. Scrutinize. The chess player closely scrutinized her opponent's every move. Widespread. There was widespread opposition to the war. Waive. He waived his rights to the inheritance. Vilify. The journalists vilified the politician. Vestige. This is a vestige left behind from the previous administration. Turgid. Her speech was long and turgid, like a full river after a flood. Sustain. I cannot sustain this intense effort for very long. Stupendous. The view from the top of the tower is stupendous. Stable. It's hard to have a stable lifestyle when you're always moving. Simper. The employee simpered before his boss. Glib. He gave a glib answer without thinking deeply. Retrieve. I can go after I retrieve my coat from the closet. Renegade. The rock star lives a renegade lifestyle. Redolent. The old building was redolent of moldy books. Rebuke. My grandfather rebuked me when I did something wrong. Range. Her songs range from joyful to sorrowful. Querulous. The querulous children screamed at each other in the back seat of the car. Proximity. You should not smoke in close proximity to a gasoline pump. Prior. You should eat a healthy meal prior to your exam. Platitude. The religious book was full of platitudes. Permeate. Technology permeates our modern lives. Peremptory. He gave a peremptory order to his employee. Bestow. The class bestowed the honor of Teacher of the Year on her. Credence. I don't give credence to theories that the earth is flat. Corpulent. The corpulent man huffed and puffed as he climbed the stairs. Copious. We ate copious amounts of junk food at the holiday party. Construe. I wanted to be helpful, but they construed my actions as interference. Cogent. His answer was clear, cogent, and logical. Coalesce. Support began to coalesce around the movement. Circumspect. The students offered a quiet, circumspect reply to the angry teacher. Candid. His candid remarks revealed his true feelings. Callous. The callous reply seemed rude as it had no concern for my feelings. Bulwark. It's important to be active in social groups as a bulwark against loneliness. Bucolic. The painting shows a bucolic scene of villagers working in the fields. Bland. This bland food needs salt and spices. Credible. You don't believe him, but I think his report is extremely credible. Belie. This evidence belies your previous statement. Banter. Although opponents, the two teams engaged in friendly banter. Bane. The vicious dog was the bane of every cat in the neighborhood. Avarice. The greedy politician was only motivated by avarice. Augment. He augmented his income by working a second job. Askance. She looked askance at the strange woman dancing in the metro. Arbitrary. This is an arbitrary rule which we follow without any reason. Ambiguous. I'm confused after listening to his ambiguous response. Alacrity. I was so excited that I accepted his invitation with alacrity. Accord. All countries were in accord that the war must end immediately. Ensue. A dramatic fight ensued after the football championship. Jibe. The other students made cruel jibes about the fat boy. Generate. One solar panel can generate enough electricity to power the house. Frustrate. Complicated math questions frustrated the tired and confused students. Fluctuate. My energy levels fluctuate depending on how much coffee I've had. Fiasco. The fiasco at the office was embarrassing to everyone involved. Feasible. Your plan is feasible, but it won't be easy. Fatuous. He described their claims as fatuous and inaccurate. Exploit. The rich businessmen exploited the poor workers. Expatiate. The newspapers expatiated on every detail of the pop star's private life. Evaluate. I need to evaluate my options before I make a decision. Estimate. I can only estimate how much time it will take. I'm not certain. Entreat. The victim entreated the murderer not to kill him. Accede. I had to accede to his request, although I wanted to reject it. Effete. The tough farmers did not respect the city boy with his effete manners. Edict. The company edict states that mobile devices may no longer be used in the factory. Divulge. I cannot divulge that information to you at this time. Distribute. The United Nations distributed food and clothes to the earthquake victims. Discursive. The discursive essay mentioned many topics but did not connect them. Disconcert. The scary news disconcerted the worried parents. Diffident. The shy boy seemed diffident when introduced to his new classmates. Didactic. This was a didactic story intended to teach a lesson. Deplete. After overfishing, all the sea's resources are depleted. Deference. The humble villagers showed deference to the king. Zealot. The zealots wanted to kill people who didn't agree with their religion. Zenith. The sun is at its zenith at noon.